Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new Spotlight program, Meet the People Behind Kiverno. I'm Shooting Zhao, one of the original author of the Kiverno project. And we start this program to really highlight all the goodness that's coming out of the community because it does take a village to support open source technology. So today I'm super excited to have a Kirono maintainer, Chip Zoller, with me on the line. Chip, thanks for joining us. Would you like to take this time to introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. Hi, Shooting, and hi, everyone. My name is Chip Zoller. I am one of the maintainers of the Kiverno project and really focus on documentation and policies and user experience and everything else that doesn't really involve Golang. In my day job, I work for Dell Technologies, lead system architect for Edge, but I've got a lot of experience in cloud native community, Kubernetes, going beyond that to cloud management systems, automation in general, and lots of other technology.
Thank you, Chip. I actually got a few questions for today just to learn your story with Kiverno. And so you already mentioned you're a Kiverno maintainer. And can you tell us a bit more about what is your current role with the Kiverno project?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it a bit earlier. My role is to really try and work on the documentation, work on policies, that is sample policies, to find new ones, to integrate those with the website, also find opportunities for improving the functionality and user experience with the Kiverno project, assisting users, whether that be on Slack or talking to them out in the wild as much as possible these days, or just working on GitHub issues to try and understand user challenges.
Cool. And I'm always curious about how did you get to know about us and why chose Kiverno?
Yeah, I think it was a little over a year ago, maybe close to a year and a half, that I was, as we're all learning our way through Kubernetes and the cloud native ecosystem, there's always something to learn. You're never done. And I got to my point in the journey where I really needed to learn about policy engines, just because more and more use cases come up around them. Multi-tenancy is an increasing use case. And so I really set out to finally bite the bullet and learn policy engines. And I kept hearing about and seeing, different policy engines out there. And I ran across Gatekeeper, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to learn Gatekeeper. And then the first thing I see is a programming language. And I remember doing a physical facepalm thinking, oh no, not again. I can't do this again. I have too much stuff to do. I work for a living. My employer expects me to help them make money. I can't spend 2-3 months getting spun up on yet another programming language just to do policy. So I began looking at, what else is out there? What do I really have to do this? I really can't budget the time to do this. And there's a Kyverno project that's out there that came out of Narmada. And I started looking at that and remember going, this is what I need. This is how policy should be written. And so I just started going down the rabbit hole from there, playing with it, seeing what it could do, seeing how it would solve my use cases, which it did. In the first probably less than an hour, I was actually writing policy that I needed for my company, for my use cases, extremely quickly, that actually worked, that did things that we needed to do. So I just became very interested in it after that point in time, and really wanted to do anything that I could to move that along, to contribute to it in various ways, to see that grow and continue to help other people just like it helped me.
Very interesting. Yeah, I still remember when you first joined the Kiverno Slack, you started posting all those questions. I was like, oh my God, this guy is really helping us improving, because back then we have a lot of, out of date documentations there, and you're the one pointing all those out, and then help us improving. So thank you for that. All right, and if you look at the project, we've come a long way to add all different support in Kyverno. And what are you most excited about?
I think I'm most excited about continuing to try and listen to what users are doing to find what their use cases are, and then figuring out how we can either, one, build policies around those and incorporate them into our policy library, which in turn helps other people. They can just go to the policy library and say, oh, there's a policy that does either exactly what I want it to do or close enough that I know how to just modify that. And so it increases the time to value for users, but also listening to some of the other use cases. And there are some really interesting ones that are out there in the community, especially as we see more and more tools in the ecosystem. And since Kiverno can work with CRDs very easily, trying to see what these other use cases are and take them back to the project and identify any gaps and try and get those gaps plugged so that we have better coverage, more capability, easier to use capabilities that are already there, and continuing to refine that process so that more and more people are able to use the project in the same way. And that was that Shuting and others envisioned it, which was an easier alternative to writing code. And we're doing that, and we're making incredible steps to it. And so that's what I'm most excited about, just continuing to take that forward.
Yeah, I think you've been contributed a lot of sample policies, and we're almost hit 100 sample policies in our library. That's very impressive. All right, I got one last question for you. Where do you see Kiverno in the near future?
I see Kiverno becoming the de facto standard for policy being applied to Kubernetes. If you look at other tools that are in the ecosystem, the way these tools are evolving, how users are using them, how they get incorporated into commercial offerings or subsumed into other open source offerings, everything is moving towards hiding pieces of plumbing and making them easier to work with, and making them just work, and making them just work with other projects. And so, I think that Kiverno is on the exact right track in that it's simple to reason about, it's quick to get up and running and solve most, if not all, of your use cases. And so I see, if we continue to do that well, and we continue to take this feedback and we continue to iterate on it, I see Kyverno being the first and end stop for most people that are using Kubernetes, whether that's manually by doing good old YAML manipulation or customize, or even later on hiding that in other offerings. I see Kyverno being the engine behind all of that, that makes it not only powerful to use, but also, if you do want to look under the covers and manipulate things by hand, it's easy to do and reason about. So over time, I see that becoming better, and Kyverno just becoming the machinery that goes hand in hand with Kubernetes that enables so many of these use cases.
Awesome. And so I remember we onboarded you as the Kiverno maintainer early this year, and since then you've been helping a lot on the project, and we really appreciate that. Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Shuting.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have today. And again, thank you for checking us out. Our community is growing, and if you want to get involved, join our Slack channel, started using Kiverno, and of course, you can always become a contributor to a project. And I'll see you on the Slack. Thank you.